ask that you all turn to one another and greet the inherent worth and dignity of each person near you. I am Reverend Bob Rangillian. I am the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist of Transylvania County. If you're new here, you haven't met me before. I use he, him pronouns. It's good to have you here. And I love seeing everybody still flowing into this room. We have a few things to announce this morning. One is that there's still, I looked out on the sign-up sheet, there's still a space left for the Wacky Women Art Circle on Friday. This is an extremely rare thing, and so that if, like during the first hymn, you want to run out there and fill that space, it's really weird for it not to already be in waiting list. Your lucky day to have shown up here and get to do that. The canned food drive is next Sunday after church from 11 to 1. We especially need canned meats and healthy soups and stews. Our community is finding post-Helene still a lot more struggle than usual, and the services are out there saying, hey, we got to give people some food to make it through the weekends, not just the daily meals at Bread of Life, for example. The Turning Point membership class, if you're interested in becoming a member, this is a required piece of that process, will be Saturday morning, March 22nd. There's a sign-up sheet on the countertop there. It's good. It's fun to meet others too, and even if you're not joining right away, it's a great thing to do. There is a movie poster, if you saw coming in the door, for Counted Out. Math is Power. It's a movie. Yes. Don says, yes, Math is Power. We were going to have it on Pi Day, 3/14, but we needed to push it back one week. This is Lorna Agrella Sevilla is the person who suggested this to us for folks to really understand the interlink between knowing math and being able to grapple with things in society and the ways in which this has social justice implications. So you say, oh, well, we're going to go to church for a math movie. Yeah, we really think it fits our mission to do this, to be the host location in Brevard for this. Who else? Is anybody else co-hosting with us? Brevard College Education Department learned we were doing this and said, wait, you can't do it by yourself. We want to get our name on that poster too. So, it's definitely worth coming. So this is Saturday, March 22nd at 3 p.m. I know you're all writing it down now that I said it. Okay, there is extra music this morning. Now, let me tell you a little story. Sometimes we're not as responsive to your asks as you might think, but we had a person coming through our What is Unitarian Universalism workshop and said, the tradition I came from had a lot more music. Can you have more music? Well, today we have 5 hymns, extra musicians, a sing-along, and the person isn't here. They will watch at home, and so we'll have extra music. So just want to let you know, sometimes it can be really responsive. I wanted to let you know we have relied on our teens for our coffee, for our nursery care, for all sorts of extras around here. And this is Naomi's last Sunday on our coffee and nursery crew. She's finding a better job elsewhere. So be sure to say hi, and you'll also see a new face. That's Tori. who's the second week in a row learning how to do all of this. So say hi to Tori, too. There is so much more I could announce, but we want to get on with the 5 hymns. And we'll start with hymn number 1064, a favorite of this congregation, Blue Boat Home.
Thank you all. That was wonderful from this perspective. My name is Ian Cowie. Today I'm the worship associate for the service. We're going to light the chalice next, and these are words by Laurel Sheridan. Reverend Sheridan, I just realized one thing. These really do work. Reverend Sheridan served as a UU minister in several New England congregations for 15 years. Due to illness, she retired to Arizona, where she died in 2008. Let's read together our chalice lighting. Take from the life its coals, not its ashes. Fan the flames of love and justice. Join hands and hearts in common endeavor, and there will be no limit to what we can achieve together.
I see there are several notes left here this morning for our candles of joy and sorrow. I don't even know if I can grab them all. Look at that. Look at this. Many joys and sorrows. So glance and make sure I'm not doubling. Yeah, that one's doubled. Okay. Let's start out with this candle. Two of these are submitted for Ukraine. I'll read the longer one here. Continued good thoughts of strength and support for the people of Ukraine, that they may have a decisive victory over the aggression and invasion of Russia. Christy told me that there's something online that says if you go to church this Sunday and they don't mention Ukraine, never go back again. No, really, as a candle of care for our world. Yeah. This candle is a prayer for our federal workers, public lands, and honesty in our country. This is a candle prayer of healing and hope for a friend of the carpenters who has lung cancer and is undergoing radiation therapy. This candle is a candle of gratitude for our nursery helpers, Naomi, Keith, Tori, Jovi, Sienna, and this is Naomi's last day with us, and we will miss her. We have a candle for Marge Doty's mother, Marjorie Williams, prayers for healing and comfort. And a candle of healing for Jackie's wife, Doty, who got through her joint replacement surgery. And then a candle for all those things not yet shared, held in the hearts of those who are here or those who are online. Let's remember the glow of all of these candles when we get to coffee hour or any time we meet and greet one another. As the telephone company ad used to say, reach out and touch someone. Let people remember that you know and you care.
Our opening words are from Reverend Julian Soto. Reverend Soto is a Unitarian Universalist minister and activist. They have worked in parish and inter-ministries and also with with vets in hospitals. Soto lives in the Pacific Northwest and seeks to serve the mission and values of Unitarian Universalism along with the healing of the world. Let us read together. I will read the yellow, you read the green. All that we are together and individually is part of the abundance of the universe. We are made of stars. We are made of earth. All that we have comes from earth, from the labor of those in our communities. From the cities, farms, and oceans that line us, the world and those who live in it. We are surrounded by blessing, by grace, and by possibilities. We are reflected in every other human being. We respect and honor one another's differences. We celebrate our interbeing with abundance and a practice of generosity. So come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn is number 118, This Little Light of Mine. Please rise if you are willing and able.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Kevin Lausch, and I work here with the kids and teens at UUTC. And our Words of Wisdom tale today is called Thank You, Omu, and it's by Oge Mora. And the word Omu in this story actually means queen in the language of Igbo, which is the language of the author's parents. It means queen, but growing up, the author also knew it as just meaning grandma. Thank you, Omu. Once, on the corner of the First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Omu was cooking a thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a taste. "What a delicious stew," Omu said. "Tonight's dinner will be the best I've ever had." With that, Omu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious smell wafted out the window and down the street and around the block until, knock, knock, someone was at the door. Omu went to the door and opened it, and there was a little boy. "Little boy," she exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I'm playing with my race car down the hall, and I smelled the most delicious smell." The boy replied, "What is it?" "Well, it's my thick red stew." Stew," he sighed. "That sounds awfully yummy." Omu thought for a minute. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It would not be hard to share. "Would you like some?" The little boy nodded. So Omu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot from her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Omu," said the little boy, and went on his way. With that, Omu closed the door and went back to her book. And as she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and down the street and around the block until, knock, knock, someone else was at the door. When Omu opened the door, this time she saw a police officer. "Miss Police Officer," Omu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was on duty on the street when I smelled the most delicious smell," the officer replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." "Ah, stew," she said, and her mouth watered. "That sounds mighty tasty." Omu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. "Would you like some?" And the police officer nodded. And once again, Omu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Omu," said the police officer, and she went on her way. Well, as you might know, throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Omu's door. She fed a shop owner and a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker, on and on and on. Even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Omu shared. And soon the sky darkened, the streetlights brightened, and it was finally dinner time. When Omu opened her big fat pot of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, it was empty. Omu sniffled. "There goes the best dinner I ever had." Sorry and blue, she sat by the table with her big empty pot until, knock, knock, knock. Who could it be, Omu wondered. When she opened the door, she saw a little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Why, everyone she fed today was at the door. "I'm sorry, everyone," she sighed. "My thick red stew is gone. I have nothing left to share." The little boy tugged at Omu's sleeve. "Don't worry, Omu. We're not here to ask. We're here to give." And the police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Omu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Omu's door that day squeezed into her tiny apartment, and they ate and they danced and they celebrated. While Omu's big fat pot of thick red stew was empty, their hearts were all full of happiness and love. And that dinner was the best she ever had. So let's remember something. This story is about generosity. And it's not about giving from what you have plenty of, it's from giving from your heart because we are feeding people. This church feeds our community, so let's please give to it so we can feed our broader society. And with that, Jack, can you bring up the candle, please? And we'll sing our few kids out.
Okay.
We're going to do The Tide is Rising, and we want you all to sing with us. The words are up there, so we'll get it started, and we want you all to sing out. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The land is holy, and so are we. The land is holy, and so are we. The land is holy, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
Scott and Karen, thank you so much. I invite you all to center yourselves. This is a time for prayer. And I'll read as well from the slips for the candles to incorporate them in the prayer. Spirit of love and life, we are here on this Sunday, the Sunday in which we hear the stories of generosity, in which we hear the call to bring in canned goods, Sunday in which our hearts reach out to those who are at war in Ukraine, a Sunday in which we know there are folks who are worried, troubled with all the stresses that are going on. Spirit of life, we also know of those who are rejoicing in one way or another, a joy that has come into their life through time of trial, perhaps, or just by circumstance. In particular, this morning, we rejoice with Jackie and her wife, Dodie, that Dodie got through her joint replacement surgery. And may all those who have gone through surgeries or facing surgeries have the hope and the joy through that end. We have our sorrows, our personal sorrows, and the ways in which we see those around us and know the ways that they have been suffering. We have a candle in particular this morning for Marge Doty's mother, Marjorie Williams, prayers for healing and especially for comfort. We have another for the friend of the Carpenters with lung cancer going through radiation surgery. We are not alone in this world, and our hearts go out to those who are wondering about their jobs, wondering about the grants that support their nonprofit programs, wondering about our public lands, wondering what's going on in the way our world is being governed. We lift up in prayer those who are federal workers, those who are worried about our environment, worried about the very way in which our public business is being done. Spirit of love and life, may all know they are not alone. And maybe, like Omu, there will be times in which we need to share from our pot. We have candles as well of gratitude for those who have been week after week, time after time, memorial services, special services, family events, Sunday coffee hours, always there, helping, welcoming the youngest among us, and making those of the oldest among us feel welcome with a warm cup of coffee or tea and some sort of snack. For those who are sometimes unseen, the ones who come around and vacuum after we're gone, the ones who clean up the messes, the ones who set the table and then disappear. In particular, this morning we have a sense of gratitude and name out loud Naomi, Keith, and Tori, and Jovi, and Sienna. We are grateful for those and for so many others in our society who are the helpers. These and the prayers of our hearts we hold now in the silence. in the names of all those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen. Blessed be. I invite you to join in our meditative hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. The words will be on the screen. John and Scott, thank you for that accompaniment, for that beautiful transition from our prayer time. The chance to give money, something that churches are pretty good at. You can be pretty much guaranteed that if you go to a religious institution, they will in fact give you the opportunity to give money. Now, this is not quite the same as going to a store and giving money. You go to a store and you give money and you get a receipt and you get a bag full of stuff. It's paper or plastic and you head out. Churches, it's different. I'm going to read these offering words from John Saxton because I think it applies. This religious community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning. But a fire cannot burn without fuel, and it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, and the compassion and the love and the financial support of the members and friends of this community that fuels our mission to nurture and sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal religious community that transforms lives and serves the world. Your support, the free and generous support of each and every member and friend of this community is what fuels this community and its mission. And without your support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves and be a beacon in a world threatened by division and fear. Money placed in our newly woven baskets will go to the support of UUTC. And money placed in the special envelope will go to SAFE for those who are suffering domestic violence. We will now gratefully receive the morning offering.
Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say when you're gone forever. Some say that you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say you're gonna come back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I heard I was in the record of Corey, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Gypsy. What's given in love, we receive with great joy. Thank you. Reading is from a former colleague of mine, John Wolfe, who was a minister emeritus at All Souls Unitarian Church in Tulsa. I remember decades ago when I was serving in the Southwest in Texas, we would have joint ministers' meetings with those in Oklahoma and other Southwest states, and John Wolfe was part of that circle. He wrote this: "There's only one reason for joining a Unitarian Universalist church, and that is to support it." It's the only reason. You want to support it because it stands against superstition and fear. Because this church points to what is noblest and best in human life. Because it is open to women and men of whatever race, creed, color, place of origin, or sexual orientation. You want to support a Unitarian Universalist church because it has a free pulpit. Because you can hear ideas expressed there which would cost any other minister his or her job. You want to support it because it's a place where children come without being saddled with guilt or terrified of some celestial peeping Tom, where they can learn that religion is for a joy, for comfort, and for gratitude and love. You want to support it because it's a place where the walls between people are torn down rather than built up. Because it's a place for the religious displaced persons of our times. The refugees in mixed marriages, the unwanted free thinkers, and those who insist against orthodoxy that they must work out of their own beliefs. You want to support a UU church because it is more concerned with human beings than with dogmas. Because it searches for the holy rather than dwelling on the depraved. Because it calls no one a sinner, yet knows how deep is the struggle in each person's breast and how great is the hunger for what is good. You want to support a UU church because it can laugh. Because it stands for something in a day when religion is still more concerned with platitudes than with prejudice and war. You want to support it not because it buys you some insurance policy towards your funeral service, but because it insults neither your intelligence nor your conscience, and because it calls you to worship what is truly worthy of your sacrifice. There is only one reason for joining a Unitarian Universalist church: to support it. I invite you now to rise and sing as you're willing and able. Hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. we have a few testimonials on video on why we give to this place.
Community. When I came here, I was welcomed warmly, and as I've been more involved, I've just been more and more warmly welcomed. And I guess just on a personal level, I've begun to believe something that has been really incredibly healing for me, which is just to say I'm not alone. And I think that's pretty important right now. And
Hi, my name's Erin, also known as Kevin's wife. I give to UUTC so that we can continue all of our social justice activities. There are so many people in our community that need our help right now. They're scared, they need resources. Not only that, but the entire country needs our help. And so now it's more important than ever to give our time, talent, and treasures to UUTC and to our communities so that we can help each other and hopefully get through what is happening right now.
This religious community of Unitarian Universalists here in Transylvania County is the kind of community that I want to support with my presence, with my gifts, with my talents. And the community, this church, this congregation plays such an important role, I feel, in the life of our greater community here in Brevard in Transylvania County. And it is the kind of thing that I support with my gifts as best I can, sharing my treasures with a congregation that believes what I believe.
I'm Lauren Agrella Sevilla. I live in Brevard. I spend my days as a mother, a teacher, and a therapist. The inherent worth and dignity of every person is really close to my heart. I choose to give to the Unitarian Universalists of Transylvania County because they stand for standing up for the worth of every person on this planet, no matter their heritage, their origins, their resources, their identity, and their preferences. And to give financially to an organization and a community, a religious community, a spiritual community that believes deeply in that worth and dignity of every person, really, it matters a lot to me.
Thank you to these wonderful individuals who agreed to get excerpts of their Why I Give speeches that we could play here. And I don't know, maybe you feel like you got left out and you wanted to do one too, and maybe you could get a video and have it played on another Sunday this month. This is our Pledge Sunday, and so our sermonette short, putting our money where our values are, is the topic of what 1 or 2 minutes I have with you. My colleague in Pennsylvania, Peter Friedrichs, once said he was speaking with a member of their church about a sermon he was going to deliver on Pledge Sunday, and she said to him, "What's the big deal? This one's easy. All you have to say is, you have money, we need money, give us your money." And then we could all go home. And so I can say, so you have money, we need money, give us your money, and we'll have our closing hymn next. But I'm going to say a couple other things first before I get to the final hymn here. I want to say some of you have already received your envelopes. If you're on our mailing list, you've already been pledging with us as a friend or a member. We had a assembly line going here on Monday, and the pledge team stuffed all the envelopes, got them all sealed, brought them over to the post office, and knew that it could take the post office a week to get them to you. And by Wednesday, I had somebody tell me over at College Walk, "Look, Reverend Bob, I already got my pledge drive envelope." And you know what was most important? She had already opened it to see what was inside. Yeah. So as of Thursday, we'd already received $71,000 of pledges already. And this is the kickoff Sunday. But we already got 71,000 as of Thursday, and then it was up to 109,000 yesterday. And at the moment, I'd say as of today, we have a third of our pledge goal of 354,000 as we're launching. And I think we've got every member of the board who's signed up with a pledge, every member of the pledge team, Christy and I, and a whole bunch of you who got your envelopes and ran them in here. I mean, just so eager. Yeah. It is with our combined enthusiasm and power that we make a difference. Why do we give? We give because it supports our values. If you paid attention to any of the lyrics today, you get some of the variety of the things that we believe in, that we believe we're supporting. And I'll tell you, this congregation gets it right by saying every single Sunday when we take money, we're also going to be taking money for somebody who isn't us. You know, who isn't worshiping with us here, who isn't able to get Sunday mornings off or whatever else because they're in a shelter for domestic violence, or they are struggling with homelessness, or they, you know, all the different groups we say through the year that we will give money to, including the UU Service Committee for a global effect in the world as well. We put our money where our values are, and we're enthusiastic about that. And I would say it's because we have somewhat overcome a fear. Marianne Williamson had this quote, and I love this quote. She famously said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. I heard that on Tuesday there was the NAACP meeting to see, you know, what can we do? How can we organize? How can we make a difference in a world in which everything is being scrambled at a federal level? Everything then trickles down to our own communities. And from what I heard on Wednesday from a member was, of the 9 people who signed up immediately for just one of the task groups, which was LGBTQ support, 5 of the 9 were UUTC members. So when we talk about giving your time, talent, and treasure, we know you are stepping up and making a difference. I understand Monday there's another meeting, and I'm going to see what's going on, and maybe I'm going to put my name on a list too. 2 weeks from Monday? Thank you, Alice. March 10th. See, look at this. You guys, it's a free pulpit. I get to say what I want, and then you can correct me. This is good. This is good. And it's important. We give to our values. One of the jokes that the pledge team passed around, church jokes. You know, there was one where the associate pastor is preaching and says, "I upped my pledge, now up yours." So Christy and I have indeed put an increase on our pledge. And maybe you want to up yours too. All right, we laugh, we cry, we live, we die. And this is a place in which we share our values and hold each other. We are here in this community for over 25 years, having a presence, having a voice, and welcoming people into our spaces fully with our mission and our values. So, yeah, I get it. All you have to say is, you have money, we need money, give us your money, then we can all go home. Our final hymn is number 121, We'll Build a Land. We'll be singing verses 1 and 2. My friends, in the words of Tom Shade, he says, my friends, there's a power at work in the universe. It works through human hands, but it was not made by human hands. It is a creative, sustaining, and transforming power, and we can trust that power with our lives and our ministries. It will sustain us whenever we take a stand on the side of love, whenever we take a stand for peace and justice, whenever we take a risk. Trust in that power. We are together held by that power. May you be blessed and may you be a blessing in this world. Go out and do your work and come back again to this place of love.